Hi, I'm Matt,
And I'm Dave.
and welcome to the ultimate guide to selling on Amazon. And this is tutorial number 9, and this is where we're going to show you the settings which you need to get into place to prepare to sell on Amazon. So we've come across to the Amazon Seller Central dashboard, and what we're going to be focusing on in this tutorial is the settings menu in the top right hand corner. So let's just dive straight in. Firstly, we're going to go into account info, and this will be all of our account settings which we saw previously within Amazon. So this is the page where you can update your business details and change or amend any of your existing details on Amazon. The next option is the notification preferences, so let's click into here. Now, a little tip from myself and Dave is that you may wish to turn off the notifications for listing notifications. And to do that is that if you click on edit on the right hand side, and then you can untick these two options here. And again, that's really handy if you're uploading and listing lots and lots of products on Amazon, and will keep the number of emails down.
That's personal preference, isn't it, Matt? But our advice is that will just get unwieldy pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, another little tip here as well is that you may want to create or separate high importance notifications from Amazon, such as a claim notification, returns, and any additional notifications for any reports which you make in Amazon. The next section is in the top right hand corner, and then click into login settings, and this is where you can change your email address and password for Amazon. The next section is return settings. Now, by default, Amazon will use the default address which you used when you first registered your account. However, if you wanted to specify a different name and address for returns, this is where you can enter the details, choose the different address, and then once you've done that, press submit at the bottom. The next section in the top right hand corner is for gift options. Now, with Amazon, you can allow your customers to specify a special message which can be entered with the product, and also a gift wrap service as well. Now, to be fair, out of the 99% of businesses which I've ever worked with who sell on Amazon, none of them have actually been and enabled this service.
Yeah, I've never needed to use this one either.
Just to put that into perspective. In the next section, we've got shipping settings, and this is where we can set our per product or per weight shipment rates for Amazon. Now, before we could dive off and look at these settings in any more detail, it's worth pointing out that Amazon do treat the entire United Kingdom as the United Kingdom. So what we mean by that is that Amazon do treat England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Channel Islands, Isle of Man as a single destination. So while it may cost you more to send to the Isle of Man, for example, Amazon only give you one option for shipping prices which covers the entirety of the United Kingdom.
That does also include the Highlands and Islands of Scotland as well, doesn't it, Matt?
Oh yeah, it does. Now, it used to be separated maybe 2, maybe 3 years ago, but it was a change which the Amazon put in place a long while ago. And again, you can put exceptions on a per product basis. For example, if you're selling a washing machine or a very large product, for example. But as a general rule, Amazon do assume that the United Kingdom is the United Kingdom. Now, of course, if you're in the United States, look out for additional options which are specific to your country and any exceptions. And these will be detailed in this lower section on your page, which we've just been highlighted down at the bottom of the page for you. And you'll also see that for the United Kingdom, we've got UK, we've got PO boxes, and BFPO, which is for the British Forces Post Office. Now, if you do sell books, music, or DVDs, so what we mean by that is actual physical books rather than Kindle books, for example, is that your shipping tariffs are set by Amazon, and you can view their table rates by using any of the links on the right hand side. Now, to change your shipping settings is that you can either use the option called change shipping model along the top. So let's have a look at that setting. So you can either base shipping on price bands, so maybe between £0 and £5, £5 and 1p and £10, and so on and so forth. Or what we would suggest is keep it really simple and do it on per shipment or per weight based rules. So let's click continue. Now, it's in this page is that you can also select an expedited option. Now, Dave, we have a little special note about expedited, don't we?
We do, and that is that if you are going to be offering an expedited option on Amazon, then the minimum that you can get away with is next day delivery in reality. They are going to expect. It's what customers are going to expect on Amazon.
That's right. So both myself and Dave, as customers buying products on Amazon, is that if we choose expedited, we're basically saying we expect it next day and not a second later. It's harsh, but that's the reality of Amazon buyers. You can also enable the international options. So you'll see that Europe is being broken down into 3 zones. You've also got North America, Japan, Australia, and the Far East. And you've also got the rest of the world. And you can see Amazon's breakdown of these sections down below. Now, for ease, we're going to leave these first 3 options ticked and also enable the expedited option as well. Let's then click on to continue. Now, there's 2 ways which you can set up pricing on Amazon, and both myself and Dave would suggest that you keep it as simple as possible. We would also suggest that you do not use per weight for your shipping calculations on Amazon. And why is that, Dave?
That's because, Matt, if you didn't create the listing and someone else did, and they may not have actually weighed the products and just put any old number in there, then that is what Amazon is going to use to calculate your shipping cost. And that could get very funny very quickly.
That's right. So because you can't guarantee the weights which have been stored on Amazon products, and again, this is up to you. It's your business and your business model. But what we would suggest is try and keep it really, really simple. So what we're going to suggest ourselves is change that to per item and then set the standard delivery to 0.00. So in other words, free delivery per item. Now, you've also got per shipment. So for example, if we had that at 49 pence, for example, it would be per shipment, which would be £3.99 plus 49 pence, which would then make the shipping £4.48. To keep things really, really simple, we would suggest setting that to 0 and your per shipment value also to 0. In other words, that's free shipping for Amazon. That then means that you can easily calculate your pricing for orders on Amazon. Now, when it comes to expedited, Amazon has suggested £4.08. You would need to update that for your own requirements. Again, that would depend upon whichever next day courier that you're using. Also, remember to change your other destinations as well. So in our case, we're going to set these to 0 because we're going to use free shipping on Amazon, and the same for BF addresses as well. Once you've been and changed those settings to your own liking, click on continue at the bottom. On the last page, you can see the sections which have been changed, and if they are as required, click confirm, or you can go back and edit those settings. In our case, we're happy with these settings because we're going to be using free shipping on Amazon, and expedited orders are going to be charged £4.08. So let's click on confirm. The next section which we're going to go into is user permissions. Now, a perfect example of this is that you've seen myself and Dave go through the registration process on Amazon. However, if I wanted to create Dave a separate user account, and you may have multiple members of staff within your business, is that you can enter your members of staff or co-founder, in this case, email address into this box, and then click on send invitation. What will then happen is Amazon will send them an email, and you can, of course, enter confirmation codes or verify those confirmation codes for that user. And if I go and look at my own user access for our Amazon Seller Central account, is that you can see that there's granular control over each section of Amazon, which is super handy if you have multiple members of staff in your team. The next section is your info and policies. Now, we're only going to suggest that you pay explicit attention to one section. Now, before we go into that section, we're going to show you why. Along the top here, I've got another tab open, which is for a TV, which they found for us a few moments ago on Amazon. Now, in this middle column, so let me just scroll down a moment, you'll see that we've got some logos in here. We've got Amazon.co.uk warehouse deals. We've got electrical deals. we've got Amazon, we've got a seller called Discount Select, which doesn't have a logo. We've got KK Electronics, we've got AV Lounge, and some other sellers as well. Now, the thing to note here is that these sellers have been added in their own seller logo to Amazon, and one of these sellers, called Discount Select, hasn't. And that's important to note, is because if a customer does come to this page, adding your logo here will help you stand out from all the others. And to do that is that if you go back to your account policy settings, then here on the left hand side you've got a link called Seller Logo, and this is where you can upload a logo to Amazon, and they do have some very specific size dimensions, and your seller logo must be 120 pixels wide by 30 pixels tall, and they must not be animated, and also they must either be in JPEG, so .jpg, or GIF formats. Now, there are a collection of other settings which you can enter about your business, such as about the seller. So that would be about you and your business. And a little note here is that Amazon's not going to take very nicely to any external off-site links. You'll also notice that for the returns and refunds section that you're unable to specify any of these details because Amazon has their own returns policy which they expect you as a business owner who sells onto Amazon to adhere to. You can also add in any additional sections such as shipping, a privacy policy, FAQ, and you can also add in custom help pages. Now, Dave, the reality here is that it's unlikely that most Amazon customers would ever view or read any of these sections anyway, would they?
No, exactly. Amazon do quite a good job of hiding this information. They don't really want you to steer away from the product page. So chances are the only thing you'll see, or the only thing that your customer will see, is your name and your product or how much you're selling it for. That's
right. And again, the most thing which the customer will see of you and your business on Amazon is the seller logo and your feedback score. So I'm just going to go back and highlight the seller logo section because that's the one key section which you need to keep an eye on and update within this section. The last option in the menu is for fulfillment by Amazon, and as mentioned, we'll cover this off with you in a later tutorial. So to summarize, there's only two key sections which you need to be aware of for your business settings. The first one is your shipping settings, and this is where you can set up your delivery rate, so that's how much your customer is going to charge you for postage. And a recommendation for myself and Dave would be to stick with free shipping because that's going to make the calculations a lot easier for you and your customers. Also, in the Your Info and Policies section is to upload that logo, which was 120 pixels wide by 30 pixels tall. So Dave, what have we got coming up in the next section?
Well, now we've got our business settings in place, we're now going to head over and look at the Amazon ASIN for the first time and find out more about what that is and what we need in order to get one for our products.
Excellent. So we look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial. So from myself, Matt.
And from me, Dave.
Cheerios.